Hello everyone, in this video I'm going to tell you guys about the top 8 universities in California and then give you guys the approximate profile that you would need in order to apply to these universities and get in. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm going to rank the universities from the top to the bottom, and then I'm going to give you guys the global ranking of these universities taken from qstopuniversities.com. And then I'm going to give you guys a subject-based ranking of these universities, right? So how good are these universities in certain subjects, and that ranking is going to be taken from US News. So before I get to the ranking, there's something really important that I want you guys to know about Californian universities. Californian universities are very competitive, right? For two reasons. First, because it's in California, right? Everybody wants to be in California because of the weather and the money and all that. So California is a very popular destination, right? Second thing is because of the proximity to Silicon Valley, right? So especially if you are applying to a program that would be, how would I say this, in high demand in Silicon Valley. So things like computer science, obviously, data science, business analytics, robotics, electronics, all these kind of things that would be really popular in Silicon Valley. Those programs will be extremely competitive in California. Right? So let me give you guys an example, right? Let's say there's a university in California that's ranked at, let's say 101 globally, right? And there's another university somewhere else in the US that's ranked at 100, right? The university in California, even though it's of a similar ranking to the other university, is going to be more competitive than the other university just because it's in California and just because it's close to Silicon Valley, right? So that's something that you guys need to keep in mind about Californian universities. So now let's get to the list of the top 8 universities in California and the kind of profiles that you might need to get in. Number 1 is Stanford University, right? So this is the Stanford University World University Rankings, topuniversities.com rankings. And Stanford is pretty much good at everything, right? So here on the screen, you guys can see all the different topics that Stanford is good at. It took 3 columns, right? In every other college, I could fit into 2 columns, but Stanford, 3 columns, and they're good at pretty much everything. Right? And the thing about Stanford is obviously it's one of the best universities in the world, not just in California. But the thing that you guys need to know is that it's extremely competitive, right? So if you are like the best student in your class and you have an amazing GRE score and you have excellent projects, you are kind of like an average applicant or a slightly maybe above average applicant at Stanford, right? So the people that apply to Stanford are already the best in their college or best in their high school or whatever, and they already have excellent projects and research work and internships and all that. So that's the kind of pool you're going to be competing against. So even if you think your profile is amazing, trust me, Stanford is still a dream university for you. Rank number 2 is Caltech. So here we have Caltech's rankings on topuniversities.com, and then here we have Caltech's subject rankings. You can see that they're also really good in a lot of stuff, especially science and even more specifically physics and space science and all that, right? So Caltech, what you guys need to know is that unlike Stanford, which is kind of a bigger university, Caltech is a very small university, right? So they don't have many students. I don't think they have any master's programs at all. I'm not really sure, but I'm pretty sure they're like 99% PhD students at Caltech. So, and they're a very small institution. They're like a really research-focused institution. So if you guys are applying to Caltech, you need to make sure that first of all, you're probably going to be applying for a PhD. And second, that you have a really strong research background, right? Because that's what they're going to be looking for at Caltech. And obviously Stanford and Caltech, you need to be like, you need to have some of the best GPAs possible, some of the best GRE scores possible if you're choosing to submit your GRE score. And you just need to be like, the kind of best applicant that is going to be there, towards applying to these universities in order for you to get it. Rank number 3 is Berkeley. So Berkeley is also an awesome university. It's not quite up to the rank of Stanford and Caltech, but it's still like an amazing university. I think it's the second biggest university in California. Here you guys can see it's topuniversities.com global ranking, and then here are all the different subjects that Berkeley is good at, right? So the thing about Berkeley is that, like I said, it's not as good as Stanford or Caltech, but it's still, I think it's one of the best UCs, like, University of California, Berkeley. So it's still one of the best UCs, or it's still the best UC, so it's still pretty hard for you to get into. So as long as you have like, a great profile, a great GPA, GRE score, great project and stuff, you should stand a chance of getting in. Before I get to rank number 4, I just want to remind you guys to subscribe to the channel because we have a ton of graduate program related information coming out every single week. So make sure you're subscribed. Rank number 4 is UCLA. So UCLA is also a fantastic university in California. It's the biggest university in California. And because of that size, you might feel that, it's a little bit easier to get into because there's a bigger class size and stuff. So it's possible that the admit rate is a little bit higher. So again, you would still need a pretty great profile in order for you to get into UCLA. Here are the top universities.com rankings, and then here are the subject rankings for UCLA. Next up is UC San Diego. So UC San Diego, right after UCLA, it's again one of the biggest universities in California. It is pretty competitive, especially for certain programs, maybe like computer science or maybe just whatever programs that it's good at. Here is the top universities.com rankings for UCSD, and here are the subjects that UCSD is really good at. Next up is University of Southern California. So University of Southern California is ranked 6th in California. And this university, it's really known for its film school. So it's really famous for having a really popular film school. And if you guys didn't know, Shah Rukh Khan's son actually went there. I know you guys come to the channel for hot celebrity gossip, so here it is. In order to get into USC, you would actually need a pretty good profile. Just like San Diego, you would need a good profile, like a really good GPA and stuff. Maybe if you're in the top 15-20% of your class, that's the kind of GPA that they're looking for. And with some solid projects, internships and stuff, you should be able to get into USC and San Diego. Next up is UC Davis. So UC Davis is the next university in California. Here is the top universities.com rankings for UC Davis, and here are the subjects that UC Davis is good at, right? So UC Davis is one of the less competitive universities in California. So if you guys are planning to get into California universities and you have like an above average profile, then UC Davis would be right for you. And last but not least, we have UC Santa Barbara, which is also a pretty solid university in California. Here's the top universities ranking for Santa Barbara, and here are the subjects that Santa Barbara is good at. Again, you would need like an above average profile if you want to get into UC Santa Barbara, because it is a pretty good university, top 8 in California. Now I just want to put on the screen some universities in California that will be considered as, honorable mentions in this list. They're not exactly, part of the top universities in California, but still, these are decent universities in California if you want to apply to. If you have like an average profile-ish, then I think you probably will be able to get into these universities, right? There are a bunch of other universities outside this list, outside the universities that I discussed in this video. For example, San Jose State University. There's like, California State University, like Fullerton, and I think Newcastle, I don't know, there's a bunch of universities, right? So these universities are not the best universities. Maybe if you have like a below average profile, you could try applying to those universities. But obviously, if you try to get into the top 8, those are the kind of universities you should be aiming for. So that's it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comments and I will try my best to help you guys out. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.